This is Chris Kill with your Peaks Trainer 1 mobility circuit demonstration. All right, with our clients, new clients that are more experienced, we utilize a standard warm-up in order to teach them the drills that we can coach best and then address their particular needs. All right, everybody's going to be different. Everybody's going to need specific things, but it's my stance that we want to teach them general before we get specific. All right, if you can wipe off 85 to 90% of just general things that people have going on with a more generalized approach first and teach it to them, it gives them perspective to where then we can pick out a specific drill and say, okay, Tom, I want you to take home this particular drill and this particular foam rolling exercise that we've done, for 5 weeks now as a circuit, and that's your homework to start to address your specific need. All right, so it creates context. The mistake that I've made in the past is just piling too much on the clients at once. So I teach them stuff in the gym, and then I'm giving them more stuff outside of the gym, so it's like a complete disconnect, and we want to stay away from that. Everything that you want to give the client at home as homework needs to be reinforced with each session, and it needs to be very simple, all right? And these warm-ups are multiple exercises, and that's why I say, don't give it as homework on week 1, give it like week 4, and just say, okay, now I want you to do your mobility circuit at home because you've drilled it into them for that long. So for us, this is part of the deal. We teach this to the client, and we drill it again and again and again and again. And when they say, what do I do for warm-up? You do this. What do I do for warm-up? You do this. So eventually, they learn the beginner warm-up, and then as they progress, their posture improves, we see improvements in their movement strength, then we progress them to the advanced warm-up when appropriate. So I'm just going to take you through each. With our beginner warm-up, we're going to start with leg lowering. All right, with this, I just want to hold on to the back of one leg here, pull my leg back as far as I can, and I'm just raising and lowering for 10 reps on each side. I'm pressing my back into the ground, and I'm getting my abs tight. You'll notice that the majority of these drills are going to be performed on the floor. And that's because I can press my back into the ground and use the floor in just these kind of ground-based positions as kind of a helper to get my core on and to perform these exercises properly. These things are going to be easier to teach as well, so we have a better kind of transition in learning. So when we advance to drills that involve more body parts and more complex movement, the client has some basis of reference. My next exercise is the half knee hip extension. All right, with this one, I'm going to have them hold on to something, press into this, tighten your core, lean forward so you feel a stretch here in the down leg. Think about tightening the butt cheek of the back leg as well, and come back. We can make this exercise easier by bringing the foot down onto the ground. Move this over here so you can see that. And this would be the starting point. The key with this is that we want the client to remain tall. Okay, I don't want them to jut forward with the knee or come forward under the toe. I want them to think about moving the hip, getting most of the motion out of this area, and feeling the stretch here versus anywhere else. All right. Again, if they tell me that they're feeling it in their low back, I know that they're hinging more from their back, so I want them to tighten their abs. And this is just teaching the client to move from their hip as they flex and extend the hip. So I'm going generally 10 to 15 reps on each side. Okay. Then we're going to move to our next exercise, which is Spider-Man. Okay. With the Spider-Man, I'm just going to get one foot way out to the side. I can keep my back knee on the floor in the beginning. Just push the knee out, get the elbow down to the ground. To progress this, I just bring the back foot off the floor. And again with this, we're just working on hip rotation on each side. Okay, from there, we go into our next exercise, which is a downward dog. All right, downward dog. Just come into a push-up position. Push up, press my heels into the ground, and come down. Come on their knees, kind of deload. Come back up. Press down into the ground, come back, go back onto the knees. All right. If that is a problem, if the client can't do that, at first we would progress the inchworm, where I crawl back, press my heels to the ground, come back, stay off the floor. But if that is an issue for the client, we can also have them do ankle drives, where I just stand up, think about leaning forward. I'm just going to do this over here so you can see me a little bit better. Lean forward until you feel a stretch here in the back of your ankles, and I'm trying to lean with my kneecap actually until my toes start to come off, or my heel starts to come off the ground. I don't want my heel to come off the ground, I just want to come to the point where it starts to. So again, I'm just leaning forward, coming back, having the client press into the wall so they can tighten their abs. All right, from there, we're going to go roller slide. For the roller slide, we're just going to have the client lie on their back, get their elbows up like this, and just slide up and down. All right, this just improves the range of motion a little bit from the traditional floor slide, but if you don't have a roller, all we do is have the client lie on their back, press their back into the ground, and just slide up and down. All right, for our last exercise, we have a sideline reach and rotate. Okay, with the reach and rotate, I'm just going to come onto one side here. I'm going to be sideline. I have my hand up like this, and I'm just looking to the side. All right, what I'm trying to cue the client to do is move from their upper back only. Okay, and I want them to just hold this part down. All right, some clients won't have that yet. Okay, and in that situation, okay, what you do is you can put a roller or something under their knees so they don't have to reach quite as far. And as they get better, we can move to the ground. Okay, they shouldn't be feeling this in the lower back at all. We're trying to get this from their upper back only. All right, the last two drills in this circuit are a plank and a glute bridge. We're just working on core stability here. The plank, have the client tighten their abs, press their knees together, get their back flat like a table. I want them to just give it a 15 count, come down. To make the plank easier, we would just move up onto a step or a chair, similar to a push-up. And again, the client should be feeling this in their core versus anywhere else. Last exercise being a glute bridge. With glute bridge, just asking them to come onto their back, grab their butt cheeks, push their butt up into the air and push the knees apart. Hold at the top, squeeze, come down. Okay, just like that, I'm looking for 15 reps. And again, based upon the client, I may have the person go through this, 3 times if they're really jacked up and they need, a lot of work. For your general population client that it comes in as fairly active, maybe have them do this one time just as a warm-up. But, the beauty of this is for somebody that has, more inflexibilities, we simply have them perform this as a circuit for longer and we increase the mobility portion of the workout. So that is your beginner mobility circuit. I'll be back with the advanced in a second.